Passion is vital, but you got to have a strategy. And your plan better include voting. Not just some of the time, but all of the time. It is absolutely true that 50 years after the Voting Rights Act, there are still too many barriers in this country to vote. There are too many people trying to erect new barriers to voting. This is the only advanced democracy on earth that goes out of its way to make it difficult for people to vote. And there's a reason for that. There's a legacy to that. But let me say this. Even if we dismantled every barrier to voting, that alone would not change the fact that America has some of the lowest voting rates in the free world. In 2014, only 36% of Americans turned out to vote in the midterms. Second lowest participation rate on record. Youth turnout, that would be you, was less than 20%. Less than 20%. 4 out of 5 did not vote. In 2012, nearly 2 in 3 African Americans turned out. And then in 2014, only 2 in 5 turned out. You don't think that made a difference in terms of the Congress I've got to deal with? And then people are wondering, well, how come Obama hadn't gotten this done? How come he didn't get that done? You don't think that made a difference? What would have happened if you had turned out at 50, 60, 70% all across this country? People try to make this political thing really complicated. They're like, well, what kinds of reforms do we need, and how do we need to do that, and what? You know what? Just vote. It's math. If you have more votes than the other guy, you get to do what you want. It's not that complicated. And you don't have excuses. You don't have to guess the number of jelly beans in a jar or bubbles on a bar of soap to register to vote. You don't have to risk your life to cast a ballot. Other people already did that for you. Your grandparents, your great-grandparents might be here today. They were working on it. What's your excuse? When we don't vote, we give away our power, disenfranchise ourselves, right when we need to use the power that we have, right when we need your power to stop others from taking away the voting rights of those more vulnerable than you are, the elderly and the poor, the formerly incarcerated trying to earn their second chance. So you got to vote all the time, not just when it's cool, not just when it's time to elect a president, not just when you're inspired. It's your duty. When it's time to elect a member of Congress or a city councilman or a school board member or a sheriff. That's how we change our politics, by electing people at every level who are representative of and accountable to us. It is not that complicated. Don't make it complicated.